Concerns about Plok's privacy. Plok's. Works better this way. Topics, take 2. In preparation for the deprecation of third-party cookies in Chrome, Google is rolling out a set of APIs called Privacy Sandbox. One of those, the Topics API, proposes to preserve consumer privacy while also allowing marketers to serve relevant ads and publishers to monetize their content. Hi, I'm Roni Gordon, Senior Principal Software Engineer at Index. Let's take a closer look at the Topics API and how it works. Topics replaces FLoC, or the Federated Learning of Cohorts proposal, and will reflect a consumer's interests rather than placing them into interest-based cohorts. Concerns about FLoC's privacy safeguards and compatibility with GDPR led Google to develop this new proposal. With Topics, a consumer's browsing history is no longer shared across the web, as it is today with third-party cookies. Instead, the browser assigns a consumer's device to a few interest-based topics based on their browsing history. Those categories can then be used to serve an ad that's relevant to the consumer. So, let's say based on your browsing history, Chrome can tell that you really seem to be into music, football, and traveling. Maybe you're always checking football scores, or you love to daydream about booking flights to Tokyo. Chrome then decides which topics to place your device into and makes those topics available to enable interest-based advertising. However, no data about you or your specific browsing history is ever presented to outside parties. It all stays inside your browser on your device. This enables consumer privacy while still enabling relevant advertising. Let's go step by step to show you how Topics works. First, a consumer spends some time online and visits various websites. Topics assigns each website a contextual label. For example, Delta.com may have the label travel, while NFL.com may be assigned the football label. The browser calculates the most frequently visited topics from a consumer's browsing history over a set period, currently 3 weeks, and stores them in the consumer's browser. When the consumer visits a site that serves ads, that publisher's SSP, who must already be observing topics on the site, will receive a selection of the topics for that consumer. The selected topics remain the same for the 3-week period, even if the SSP runs another auction for the same consumer on this site. There's also a small chance a random topic will be included to further protect privacy. When the SSP runs an ad auction, it will also share the selected topics with DSPs to help them choose a more relevant bid. Finally, the winning ad is displayed to the consumer. For reporting attribution, SSPs can share the topics associated with ad impressions with publishers and DSPs. So how many topics are there, and how granular do these interests get? Currently, the taxonomy includes about 470 topics. Google expects the final number to be between a few hundred and a few thousand. Topics uses a hierarchical taxonomy. For example, arts and entertainment gets more detailed with music and audio, and then a level deeper with soul. Chrome's goal is that the taxonomy becomes a resource maintained by trusted ecosystem contributors. The taxonomy needs to be small enough that many consumers' browsers will be associated with each topic, so you can't have a topic that's so narrow that could identify someone with a high degree of certainty. To further preserve privacy, Topics avoids sensitive categories, such as ethnicity or sexual orientation, and creates groups that are public and human-curated. Consumers also have full transparency. They'll be able to see what topics they belong to, remove themselves from them, or opt out entirely. So, what are the implications here? For consumers, this is a much more privacy-centric way to enable relevant advertising, compared to third-party cookies and FLoC, which is a win. For publishers and marketers, there are still open questions around how performant topics will be. Starting to test the solution at scale will quickly address any ambiguity. Testing is underway and will continue to ramp up through Q1 2024 as Google removes third-party cookies on 1% of traffic. We suggest publishers work with their SSPs to begin testing now. Publishers will also need to update to the latest version of Prebid that natively supports topics. We also encourage DSPs and marketers to begin testing topics within their ad buys while third-party cookies are still enabled. It'll be easier to compare existing audience segments to the topics that Chrome sends and fully understand the value of the signal and return on ad spend. For example, are consumers who are interested in travel more likely to purchase plane tickets? This feels like a safe assumption, but one that you can prove by ingesting and analyzing this data directly. Our team is here to help you understand and support the Topics API and evolve your addressability strategy as we sprint to a world without third-party cookies.